प्लेट्स भी उठाऊंगी लोगों के. इनफैक्ट कस्टमर्स काफ़ी बार शॉक हो जाते हैं कि ये क्यों ये बंदी इतनी तैयार व्यार होके आई है, मेकअप वेकअप करके आई है, ये क्यों यहाँ पे प्लेट अचानक से. आई डोंट थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, अ लॉट ऑफ women have the luxury to express. And here I am expressing everything, whether I'm sad, whether I'm happy, angry, anything. You think I have not been told that I talk loudly or laugh loudly or don't sit with my legs crossed or I'm not feminine enough or I am not ladylike and मैं कल को ससुराल में क्या करूँगी and things like that.
Thanks very much for joining us on the podcast, Anam. Or इतने short notice पे, like just yesterday we were speaking that I want to have you on the podcast, and the very next day you agreed to appear on the show. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much for having me. I thought that इससे पहले मैं फिर से किसी और चीज़ में busy हो जाऊँ, मैंने सोचा कि we should just ASAP do the podcast.
You are being very busy these days.
I am busy all the time. I was telling you this yesterday also that मेरे दिमाग में इस समय भी while we're having this conversation, I have like 10 tabs open. 10 things, 10 more things that I have to do and 10 more directions where, you know, I'm spread out. So I think that comes with the kind of work I'm doing, but yeah.
So I'm mostly familiar with your work at the Books and Bricks Cafe, and I think most of the people are know you from that only, because I haven't been following you on social media from that long. So I wanted to know a little bit about your early life. Where were you born and where were you brought up?
I was born in Delhi, brought up in Delhi and Jammu, and I was in a hostel in Ajmer called Mayo College Girls School. So my schooling was from there, and then I did my journalism honors from Delhi University, and then I studied international relations from Jamia, and I passed out, and I got a job as a communications assistant at that time with Johns Hopkins University. Johns Hopkins basically gives technical assistance to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in maternal and child health, family planning, pre-service education of nurses and midwives, and adolescent sexual health and rights. So this is where I specialized in, and this is where I worked in for the next 6-7 years. And I worked with Johns Hopkins. I worked with, and with that I got to work with a lot of foundations like BMGF and other Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, etc. And then I consulted with USAID for their Ayushman Bharat initiative as a communication specialist. So I was making films and doing written stories, etc. to show impact of Ayushman Bharat in India. So that is what I was doing, and when I quit Johns Hopkins, that's when I came to Kashmir, and that was 2018.
And why did that happen? Why did you that reputable job, maybe well paying?
Yeah, and I'd risen up also. Usme promotion hoti gayi, and I'd become quite famous in the organization. I was suffering from success. I was actually living a very fabulous life. Apna flat tha Delhi mein, gaadi thi, paisa tha. So, and because of my work, I would get to travel to a lot of places in India. High focus districts में उन लोगों का ज़्यादातर काम था. So बिहार भी जा रहे थे पर महाराष्ट्र भी जा रहे थे and all, and I would stay at these 5-star properties and all of that. तो काफ़ी enjoy कर रही थी, ज़्यादा enjoy कर रही थी actually. वो हो गया मुझे. तो मैंने उस टाइम पे सोचा that maybe I will take a sabbatical for a little while and then join another organization. That's what I wanted to. And I was now interested in public health only उस टाइम पे, because मेरा specialization, I have short childbirth, right? So मेरा forte ही वो हो गया था. मैं surgeries shoot करती थी, करती थी, फिर उनके बारे में लिखती थी और films बनाती थी around childbirth, right? So it was very fulfilling that way. मुझे मज़ा आ रहा था उस सब में. फिर मैंने सोचा कि मैं sabbatical लेके then I'll join another organization. मैंने
You didn't have in mind that you'll settle here?
No. I came to Kashmir actually for a cousin's wedding. Okay. And then I stayed back here because मुझे एक consultancy USAID की मिल गई थी. So I was like, instead of being in Delhi, I can be here because my mother is a single parent. So I thought I'll get to be with her also for a longer time, and so I started doing the consultancy from Books and Bricks Cafe actually. And that's how I became friends with Danish, who's my business partner, and eventually I bought stakes in the cafe, and बाकी की तो बात की बात है. Now I run the place.
But it is ये काफी different decision है, like you are traveling across.
I act on impulse. I was in Nasik. I was shooting childbirth in a sub-district hospital when Danish called me up and he said that Anam, मुझे लग रहा है कि cafe मैं बेच दूंगा types. I was like नहीं, books and bricks नहीं बेच सकते, because by this time I'd spent a lot of time with these people and we'd already started making memories in the cafe, right? तो मैं बहुत enjoy करती थी यहाँ पे. I was like कि no, that's not happening. एक काम करते हैं, मैं तेरे साथ चला लेती हूँ, मैं आधा खरीद लेती हूँ.
And why did he want to sell it?
वो उसका अपना उसका फॉल आउट उस टाइम पे विद हिज पार्टनर एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. लॉसेस हो रहे थे बहुत ज़्यादा. ही हैड सीन 2016 उससे पहले, एंड यू नो दे वर सफरिंग लॉसेस एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड ही ऑल्सो वांटेड समबडी. He has other businesses also. Danish wanted somebody who would run the show also. And मुझे अब क्या अपनी फील्ड में हो रहा था, because I was working with in public health, तो I'm also a very creative person. तो मुझे ना वो creative जो juices थे मेरे दिमाग में, वो मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा था कि मैं उनको कहाँ utilize करूँ, right? Even when I joined Johns Hopkins, so they were very set in their ways of how they would publish a story, right? एक कोई impact story वो कैसे publish करेंगे. But when I came in, I had so many ideas. You know, I would bring in so much color in whatever we were doing. They were not doing films in-house उससे पहले. They were not doing shorter stories, photo stories, things like that. So I had these expertise and I would bring that in. And ऐसे ही मुझे और भी इतने सारे ideas थे. I was like कि मुझे कुछ और करना है जहाँ पे मैं I have the freedom to do this.
Okay.
And while I was in ये 2018 वाले टाइम में जब मैं कश्मीर में थी, so मैं इतने सारे कैफेज यहाँ पे हम लोग जाते थे, मैं अपनी मम्मा को बोलती थी आई विश आई हैव अ कैफे हियर समडे. एंड आई डिड नॉट नो दैट दिस विश वुड हैपन सो सून, दैट दिस वुड फॉल इनटू माय पॉकेट. वही नासिक में थी मैंने दानिश को बोला नहीं यार मैं खरीदूंगी आधा स्टेक एंड लेट्स सी वेयर इट गोज. इट टुक अ कपल ऑफ मोर मंथ्स, यू नो, पेपर वर्क एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. एंड
how much did you purchase in the stake?
I bought 41% of the
For
stakes.
how much, if you don't?
No, that I can't disclose ना.
Okay, sure.
कैफे कितने का है वो नहीं ना बता सकती मैं अभी. इवैल्यूएशन काफ़ी लंबा चला था, बट दैट हैपेंड. एंड मई में हम लोग, सो दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन हैपेंड इन January 2019. That's when I was shooting in Nasik, and by March, April, paperwork, evaluation, all of that happened. हम लोगों का deed वगैरह वो सब हुआ. By May, all of this got finalized. And मैंने बैकग्राउंड के साथ आपको ये भी बता दिया कि मैं कैफे में कैसे पहुंची.
ठीक है. तो मतलब उस वक्त स्टेट ऑफ माइंड क्या था कि कहाँ एक, एज आई सेड कि ग्लोबल ट्रैवल या ऑल अक्रॉस द कंट्री यू आर ट्रैवलिंग, एंड नाउ सडनली यू आर लाइक बाउंड विद दिस प्लेस कि अब जो है सो है यहाँ पे.
नहीं, ट्रैवल तो अभी भी कर सकते हो, ट्रैवल में वो नहीं है रोक टोक. बट द थिंग इज दैट because I act on impulse, I don't think about what next, you know, like I'm not thinking about oh shit, you know, how is it going to impact you know, on any other plan that I have in my head. I don't work on 5-year plans and goals like that, right? And I probably should have, but I don't. And I give in to my impulses, and luckily I you know have a support system that you know they let me be with my craziness, right? This is all a crazy idea. I've never lived in Kashmir, right? I was in Delhi all this while, and suddenly I tell my mother that यार वो वहाँ से pack up करके अब मुझे यहाँ आना है. And you know, like I've had a really nice, a robust support system in that sense. My friends, everybody. ऐसा नहीं है. People would second guess my decision also. People would tell me, and in fact, very close people would tell me, no, are you sure? And they would, you know, show me the downside of it, right, so that I'm more sure of my decision, right? So I've been through all of that process, right? But I think I equated it with a lot of things. A, I would get to be with my mother.
Right.
B, I would get to be in the place that I most identify myself with, right? See, in Delhi, what was also happening was that I was one in a million, like, you know, right? You get lost in the crowd. And that sense of identity, you only find it in your home, right? From the place you are from, right? I wanted that, right? I actually came here looking for that, right? So, wo tha, my grandparents are here, everybody that I know, love, everybody is here, right? तो वो भी एक था. और दूसरा ये भी था कि मैं अब ये भी इक्वेट कर रही थी दैट दिल्ली में जो मेरी लाइफ थी, इट वाज ए 9 to 5 नौकरी कर रहे हैं. गुड़गांव में रहती थी, ओखला में ऑफिस है, दैट्स लाइक 25 किलोमीटर्स और समथिंग, ठीक है. ड्राइव करके जा रही हूँ, ड्राइव करके आ रही हूँ, आके क्रैश हो रही हूँ, नेक्स्ट डे फिर से वही कर रही हूँ, फिर फ्राइडे ख़त्म होता है तो पार्टी करने जा रहे हैं, यू नो. सो आई वाज ओनली चेजिंग वीकेंड्स, और फिर वीकेंड पे लॉन्ड्री कर रहे हैं, ये कर रहे हैं, खाना बना रहे हैं. सो इट वाज लाइक गोइंग ऑन लूप, राइट. So I wanted to break that loop also, get out of that also. Right now, I have no routine. I don't know where I'm going to go after this interview. I don't want to be in a box. That is very important for me. I don't want to be in a box. So I want to be free-flowing all the time. I don't want to... like before reaching this place, I was at 3 more different places and none of it was planned. Right? I went for a shoot, I went to meet somebody at the hospital, then I did something else in the middle. None of that was planned, right? I don't want to be कि अच्छा हाँ सुबह 9 बजे उठे फिर शाम में 5 बजे आए, तो वही जिंदगी है.
But you have given me a very deep insight to ponder upon, because you know I also travel to cities and all, but I had never thought about it like this. कि वहाँ पे you are one in a million, but यहाँ पे you have an identity.
Absolutely.
So that is very insightful. And so now that you spoke about you don't have any deadlines or anything, so how...
deadlines है.
deadlines है
Okay. वो तो है. And पर वैसा रूटीन नहीं है मेरा, especially, and I'm not saying it for, but it's not a generic statement. Vishdan has a routine, like he has to go to work, you know, every day at a certain time, record his show and all of that. बाकी लोगों के लिए डिफरेंट हो सकता है कश्मीर का एक्सपीरियंस, मेरे लिए वो नहीं है. मेरा कोई रूटीन नहीं है, एंड आई थ्राइव इन दैट. आई थ्राइव इन स्ट्रक्चर, बट आई नीड स्ट्रक्चर इन द सेंस दैट आई need my room organized, my life organized. I need diaries. I need to write down what I have to do. Right?
That was actually going to be my question. Like, do you prepare to-do lists? Or...
I do. I have so many to-do lists in my phone also right now. I do that. वो मैं करती हूँ. But you know, it's like structure in the way कि रोज सुबह मुझे 8 बजे उठ के 9 बजे नौकरी पे निकलना है, फिर वापस आना है घर, वो नहीं. I did not want that life anymore.
And what does this feel like? Like yesterday when we were speaking, you used that word, even though we were speaking about a different thing, we were speaking about money. But here, यहाँ पे भी एक है ना आज़ादी की लत लग जाना. So how like ये कितना वो है, कितना लत लगा देने वाला है ये
तो इसकी तो लत सेंस ऑफ फ्रीडम की भी एंड फ्रीडम ऑफ टाइम की भी मुझे लत लग गई है. यू नो, आई वर्क विद माई ओन टाइम नाउ, एंड यू नो दैट इज़ वेरी लिबरेटिंग ऑल्सो. एंड इसकी लत लग जाती है. और सेंस ऑफ फ्रीडम इन टर्म्स ऑफ बीइंग फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट, उसकी तो लत बहुत गंदी लग गई और बहुत पहले लग गई.
अभी हम आएंगे थोड़ी देर में. बट हाँ, मतलब टू शो कि ये कितना, मतलब ये कितना इंटॉक्सिकेटिंग है ये जो सेंस ऑफ फ्रीडम है. आई विल जस्ट आस्क यू के इफ देयर इज अ वेरी हाई पेइंग जॉब, इवन जितना अभी आप कमा रहे हो उसका डबल, देयर इज अ जॉब विच विल पे यू दैट, एंड ऑन द अदर हैंड देयर इज दिस फ्रीडम ऑफ टाइम, what would you choose?
Freedom of time. And it is not like in the last whatever years that I've been here, with whatever downfalls we've seen, मतलब हम लोग काफ़ी देर बंद रहे, डेट में गए, all of that has happened. ऐसा नहीं हुआ है कि मुझे ख्याल नहीं आया ये कि maybe I should look for a job now and you know like be somewhere else and you know work. I have thought about that also, and then I have looked up jobs also. I have applied on LinkedIn also, वो भी किया है. एंड देन फिर मुझे साथ में ये थॉट आया कि यार मुझसे नहीं अब ये होगा, अब नहीं हो पाएगा वो मैं आई कांट डू द ग्राइंड एनी मोर.
एक बार शेर के मुंह खून लग गया.
एग्जैक्टली, वो नहीं कर पाऊंगी. और ऐसा नहीं है कि जो मैं अभी कर रही हूँ दिस इज एनी ईजी, इट्स नॉट, बट इट स्टिल कम्स with a sense of freedom, right? And I am answerable to myself and obviously to my staff. I am answerable to my staff that I cannot take a bad decision and then jeopardize their life,
lives.
right? I cannot do that, but at the same time I'm not answerable to a boss,
Exactly.
right? So वो उसकी लत लग जाती है.
Okay, so now that you have spoken about your staff as well, ये मैं आपको कल भी कहा था, this was actually one of the biggest questions that I had. So this was something that very early on when I visited Books and Bricks in around 2019, I knew that if I meet the owner or the manager sometime, I will ask them this. How have you created that culture inside a cafe? Like there is a totally, when you enter Books and Bricks cafe, you know that okay, ये जो छोटा सा cubicle है यहाँ पे अमर सिंह कॉलेज के आगे, this is different than what lies outside of this cafe. There are people, you enter the cafe and you see people are smiling, just random strangers are just smiling at you. The जो वहाँ का staff है, they are calling you by your name. They वो आपको वही से बता रहे हैं कि okay, you will have this because they know मेरे preferences क्या है. So and this is something जो आप किसी भी आप top के cafes में जाओ, you will not find it there. How did you create that culture in your staff, even in your customers or in the place that you are working in?
So the two people जो हमारे floor पे हैं, so we bifurcate our cafe in kitchen and floor. तो जो floor पे हमारे जो दो लोग हैं, बशीर और ताहिर, they are exceptionally good. They are the backbone of our cafe and they're exceptionally good. And ताहिर को याद रहता है आपने क्या ऑर्डर किया है, आपका नाम क्या है, आप क्या खाओगे, आपको क्या नहीं पसंद है, आपको अपनी कॉफ़ी में कितना मतलब आपको सिंगल शॉट कॉफ़ी चाहिए या आपको मिल्क ज़्यादा चाहिए, क्या चाहिए, लाइक ही विल नो every little detail, right? He remembers everything. He's very sharp. And he has great communication skills. And so do I. I am a people's person. If you see me at the cafe, I am talking to people, I'm interacting with people, I'm serving food also. I do everything in the cafe, वो तो अलग चीज़ है. But I think मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो मेरी vibe है वो cafe की vibe बन चुकी हुई है, right? I'm a peppy, outgoing extrovert, who likes talking to people, and you will now notice that every table talks to everybody. मतलब वहाँ पे अब वो barrier ही नहीं रहा है, like it's become this place, community center types,
Community center is a good word for
जामिया का CC है ना, ये वो बन गया है, people go there and कोई और conversation करोगे, लोग बात करने लग जाएंगे, and it's become much like that. And I feel like my own vibe has transcended into the cafe, right? That has happened, and of course I don't want to take away from what Bashir and Tahir individually add to the cafe, right? Their communication skills are amazing, and they're very good human beings. And I feel that if you're a good person, that shows in your personality, your character shows in your personality. I think they're so good charactered, and we've never we've not bound them ever. Both Danish and I, we will not tell them कि नहीं customer से ज़्यादा बात नहीं करनी है or something like that. We don't put rules like that. And if you'll see me someday at the cafe, मैं बड़े chill तरीके से अपने staff से भी बात करती हूँ, right? They're like my friends, they're my family. They'll show me what उनकी गर्लफ्रेंड्स की फोटो होगी, कुछ होगी, we talk about so much stuff. They know everything that's happening in my life, right? If I have a problem or something, I'll actually be discussing it with Ashik, जो हमारा head chef है, and Bashir, much before I tell my friends and family also, because I spend most of my time with them, so I'll discuss it with them. So वो chill एटमॉस्फेयर जो मेरा है उनके साथ, उनका है कस्टमर्स के साथ, अब कस्टमर्स का आपस में भी हो गया है. Nobody is rigid at the cafe. I think that is what has happened, and it's happened gradually.
In a lot of management books we read that you have to groom your staff, but here you have groomed your staff in a way that it doesn't feel like they are being groomed.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I think we've not groomed them in वो जो hospitality के books में सिखाते हैं उन चीज़ों में. We have groomed them in different ways. We've groomed them with things that are in vogue right now. मतलब उनके स्किल्स उस लेवल के हो गए हैं कि वो हमारे साथ उठते बैठते हैं. मेरा स्टाफ मेरी गाड़ी चला रहा है या कुछ है, like, you know, so they're a part of our life so much that they've become us. It's that, right?
Do you interview while hiring? Like आप खुद interview करते हो या what is the process of hiring people?
Depends if we're hiring somebody at at a higher level. अगर मेरे को बरिस्ता हायर करना है फॉर इंस्टेंस, तो मैं पहला इंटरव्यू उसका लेती हूँ. दानिश उसकी कॉफ़ी चेक करता है, बनवाता है उससे, and that's how we hire if we're hiring a barista. But if we're hiring a helper, a dishwasher, you know, वो बशीर खुद कर लेता है. Bashir is our manager and he hires most of the staff himself. And Ashik is our chef, तो उसको किचन में किसी की भी ज़रूरत होती है तो वो खुद हायर करता है उसके लिए. जो हमारे सेट लोग हैं ना वो ऑलरेडी हो चुके हुए हैं. सो अदर देन दैट स्टाफ से और कुछ बात वगैरह करनी होती है, कुछ वी वांट समथिंग, सम मैसेज टू ट्रिकल डाउन, सो वो दानिश और मैं खुद ही करते हैं.
मतलब जो फंडामेंटल स्ट्रक्चर है आपके जो इसका, दैट इज ऑलरेडी सेट एंड दे आर managed.
It's not like we don't have to keep refurbishing all of that. We have to. In day before yesterday हमारी रात में 2.5-3 घंटे की मीटिंग रही है स्टाफ के साथ. Got over at 12:30. तो वो करते हैं हम. It's not like we don't. We spend a lot of time with them trying to bring structure in the sense that we'll tell them that यूनिफॉर्म साफ होनी चाहिए. साफ यूनिफॉर्म इज अ मस्ट. मगर गंदी होगी उसमें उसमें पॉइंट कटेगा टाइप्स, समथिंग लाइक दैट.
तो टेल मी अ लिटिल बिट अबाउट दैट. क्या मतलब पॉइंट्स कटेगा? कि रेटिंग सिस्टम है समथिंग लाइक?
वी स्टार्टेड दैट. हम एक्चुअली इनको अब इंक्रीमेंट्स देते हैं. वी डिड नॉट हैव दैट सिस्टम पहले. तो हम अब क्या करते हैं, we've kept an increment system which is point based. So points are on uniform, hygiene, if somebody comes up with a new recipe, and बहुत सारी चीज़ें उसमें, like it's a 20-30 point system. Over the year हम देंगे. Each month we'll also have employee of the month. We'll give a cash reward for that. 18% is the maximum increment जो हम in a year देंगे on their base salary. So all of that. Also we have a mutual fund for them जो हम 10% हम और 10% वो हर महीने वो डालेंगे.
On behalf of them.
हाँ.
Okay.
So वो सब भी करते हैं. So the thing is that Danish is really good with finances and I'm not good at math. But the thing is that अभी तक क्या हो रहा था that they're earning money and then spending that money, sending a little bit home and all of that. तो वो खर्च हो जा रहा है. दानिश और मैं एक दिन ये कॉन्वर्सेशन कर रहे थे कि यार ये कर क्या रहे हैं, लाइक ये लोग अपनी ज़िंदगी में आगे क्या करेंगे. एंड वी वॉन्ट दैट अगर कोई बंदा हमारे साथ 1 साल भी हो, जब वो 1 साल के बाद यहाँ से जाए, he would have learned a great deal of running the show. B, that person should have lump sum money also, right? You're doing the work to earn money. You should have the money. So उसी पे हमने और बात करी. तो we figured out that we'll do one thing. हम इनका mutual fund खोलेंगे and we'll invest for them, and so that by the time whenever they decide to take it out, कभी किसी को शादी करनी होगी, घर में शादी होगी, किसी की कोई और चीज़ होगी जिसके लिए भी पैसे चाहिए होंगे, they have that money. So वो हमने.
And did they understand it, the concept of, because it is very new here.
It's very new here, but Danish is a great teacher. He's made me also invest a lot. So he's really, वो हमें constantly बोल रहा होता है. अगर मैं उसको बोलूँगी ना, डैनी मुझे गाड़ी खरीदनी है, मैं सोचूँ नई गाड़ी खरीदूँ, लेकिन नहीं, तू SIP में ये पैसे डाल. He'll not let us buy anything, and all friends. So he's done this mutual fund coaching with the staff also.
So now that we are on this topic, how is your relationship with money?
My relationship with money was really bad पहले, because I was spending and I was earning अच्छा, तो मैं spend भी अच्छा कर रही थी. See, I started earning आज से 8-10 साल पहले, right? And फिर जब वो पॉकेट मनी ख़त्म होके सडनली, मतलब 3,000 की पॉकेट मनी ख़त्म होके सडनली 30,000 की सैलरी जब आती है ना, वो बहुत अच्छा लगता है. एंड देन वो सैलरी बढ़ते जाती है, फिर उसमें आपको TADA भी मिलता है, फिर 5 स्टार में रह भी रहे हो, लत लग जाती है उसकी. सो व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड अर्निंग मनी, मेरे दिमाग में ये था कि ओके, माई फैमिली हैज गिवन मी अ सर्टेन स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग, आई हैव टू मेंटेन दैट एंड एस्पायर फॉर मोर, राइट? So when you earn more money, that is your sense of aspiring for more also. तो मगर सेविंग का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं था at all. कोई और इन्वेस्टिंग का तो कोई भी कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं था. बट मेरा भाई who's also into ये ना फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजिंग अलॉट, वो भी हमेशा सेविंग, SIP, ये ना इन्वेस्टिंग, SIP, ये वो मुझे बोलता रहता था, पर मैं मानती नहीं थी. मैं बोलती थी वो मुझे कह रहा था 5,000 का SIP तू स्टार्ट कर ले. उस टाइम पे व्हेन आई वाज वर्किंग, मैं बोलती थी मेरी सैलरी में से 5,000 रुपए मैं क्यों डालूं, इससे अच्छा मैं इसको आई वुड हैव मेड अ लॉट ऑफ मनी, राइट? आई डिड नॉट. बट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट है, ये मैंने बहुत छोटी एज में सीखा है. Because I saw my mother making very good investments and creating assets from a very young age. So my mother, I was telling you this, was heading Women's Development Corporation, and she was the managing director of that, and she retired just last month. So Women's Development Corporation basically soft loans deta hai to women to start their business unit, right? So this becoming a financially independent woman was engraved बहुत young age से, because I saw my mom giving these talks to women, and I was seeing how it was impacting lives of women to make decisions in their families, and I saw lives changing actually, right? और मेरे मतलब बहुत early memory है of I've seen my grandmother also working, my mother also working, and women really being the main decision makers in the family. Maternal side also, paternal side also. So I've seen strong women always. तो ये तो था कि कुछ तो करना है, right? And investment का ये मुझे हमेशा से पता था कि मेरी मम्मा अपनी सैलरी में से कुछ पोर्शन हमेशा यूज करती थी टू इन्वेस्ट इन लैंड. वो ज़्यादा रेंटल और उस सब में जाती थी, या रियल एस्टेट में, सॉरी, जिसका अब जो सारा रेंटल पे है. एंड इवेंचुअली मैंने ये रियलाइज करा और अपने भाई से भी ये सीखा. उसने मुझे ये बताया दैट द रियल मनी कम्स फ्रॉम रेंटल बिजनेस ओनली, राइट? You should have one of your pipelines should be rental income. 7 pipelines होने चाहिए, all of that. वो मुझे pipelines में बहुत सिखाता रहता है.
Do you remember any of those 7?
Do I remember any
like,
of them?
Do you remember all the 7 pipelines?
No, I don't.
ठीक है, मैं पूछने वाला था, मेरे को भी बताओ.
No, so I know that one should like your main money should always be coming from rental pipeline. Anyway, so I saw that happening, but ये खुद से ये नहीं था कि मुझे करना है. मुझे हमेशा लगता था कि मुझे तो उड़ाने ही है पैसे, और उड़ाऊंगी तो आएंगे और आएंगे. और मैं उतना कभी मनी माइंडेड थी नहीं. मतलब मुझे लालच नहीं है पैसों की, राइट? आ रहे हैं, स्पेंड कर रही हूँ. आई एम द काइंड ऑफ पर्सन, इफ वी आर ऑल सिटिंग हियर एंड वी ऑर्डर फूड, एंड आई विल बी द पर्सन की खाना मैं खिला रही हूँ, राइट? इफ यू आर गोइंग आउट, I'm spending. So I spend a lot of money. तो मुझे वो होर्डिंग और पैसा मल्टीप्लाई होना है, उस सब का उतना वो था नहीं. Until recently that once we were shut for a very long time here in our several lockdowns. 2019 का लॉकडाउन, फिर उसके बाद कोविड हुआ वगैरह, एंड वी सफर्ड अ लॉट ऑफ लॉसेस हियर एट द कैफे. एंड लाइक आई वाज टेलिंग यू, देयर केम अ पॉइंट वेयर आई वाज एक्चुअली कॉन्टेम्पलेटिंग दैट maybe I should go back to Delhi and like look for a job or something. And उस टाइम पे लगा कि पैसे होने चाहिए थे शायद, राइट. एंड उसके बाद भी नाउ alhamdulillah the cafe is doing well, and इस समर हम लोगों ने we started to recover our losses and everything. But I think this whole last 2-3 years का experience has taught me that no, I need to have a piggy where I have something for a rainy day, right? And also a lot of people depend on me, right? I have to be cognizant of that all the time. And also aspirations कभी ख़त्म नहीं होने चाहिए. और काफ़ी slump रहा in the last 2-3 years, खुद को भी, emotionally भी, and I don't exhibit that publicly, but obviously रहा है. And I think now I'm also getting back into my skin, where I'm getting back into that zone where I want to aspire for more. अभी तक यही था कि sustain करना है, lockdowns है, ये है, debt हो गया है, sustain करना है, किसी तरह निकलना है इस सब में से. अब जब मैं निकल रही हूँ इस सब में से, now I want to aspire for more again. Exactly.
For more.
Exactly.
Tell us a little bit about that as well. How does that work? To aspire for more, even when you already have a substantial lifestyle, then even मतलब taking a leap ahead कि I want to, ठीक है ये आ गया, you have a Verna, but now you want a...
I want a Mustang now.
Exactly.
I don't want to drive my Verna anymore.
Okay.
So I see people aspiring and then actually getting the life that they want, right? And why not me? I work hard, and I'm good to people. I've created, मैं अपने लिए कर रही हूँ, अपनी pipelines create कर रही हूँ. So why can I not be somebody who is able to buy a Mustang, for instance, right? तो हैं वो aspirations हैं.
Is it I want to buy a Mustang, or is it I want to be able to buy a Mustang? Like, what is it more? I think even if you don't buy a Mustang...
I want to buy a Mustang. I'll tell you why. Because I love driving. And I love speed. तो मुझे Mustang अपने एक शौक के लिए खरीदनी है. Right? I want to be able to build a house. वो भी एक ख्वाहिश है मेरी कि मुझे अपना घर बनाना है. हम लोग जो मिलेनियल्स है ना, हमें सब कुछ अभी तक बहुत इजी मिला है, राइट? आवर पेरेंट्स हैव डन द हार्ड वर्क, राइट? द बिग थिंग्स दे हैव ऑलरेडी डन. ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स हैव कम फ्रॉम द विलेज टू द सिटी. पेरेंट्स हैव डन द एजुकेशन एंड डन अ गवर्नमेंट जॉब एंड क्रिएटेड होम्स एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट फॉर अस, बॉट कार्स एंड एवरीथिंग. व्हाट आर वी डूइंग? एंड आई often think about this, that ठीक है मेरा कैफे है, नाम है, all of that. I've worked so much in public health also. I've done everything till now जिससे मुझे मेरा पैशन जो था ना वो सैशिएट हो रहा था. मैं जो करना चाहती थी वो. और हम लोगों को मिलेनियल्स को आज़ादी किस चीज़ की मिली? इस चीज़ की मिली कि जो हम करना चाहते थे ना काम, हमारे घर वालों ने मोर और लेस हमें उस सब के लिए सपोर्ट किया, राइट? फॉर इंस्टेंस कोई एक्टर बनना चाहता है, कोई कुछ बनना चाहता है, घर वाले बोलते जा यार तू ऐश कर. हम लोगों ने पूरी जिंदगी तो मजदूरी करी है. आवर चाइल्ड शुड नॉट बी डूइंग दैट. यू चेज योर ड्रीम, राइट? सो वी वर अलाउड टू चेज आवर ड्रीम्स. सो आई थिंक दैट मैंने अपने सारे वो जो ड्रीम्स है ना वो चेज कर लिए हैं. टचवुड, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, मेरे वो सपने पूरे हुए हैं. I wanted to take up journalism, I did that. I wanted to write, I did that. मैं शॉर्ट फिल्म्स बनाना चाहती थी. पब्लिक हेल्थ में शौक पड़ा काम करने का, वो भी किया. फिर कैफ़े बनाना चाहती थी, कैफ़े का भी कर लिया. इतने लोगों से मिली. आई एम स्टार्टिंग अनदर ब्रांड ऑल्सो. इट्स अ फर्नीचर ब्रांड. I wanted to do that for 2-3 years, and now that is also happening. I was not going to talk about this, but I am. So that is also happening. बट द थिंग इज दैट सपने पूरे हो रहे हैं, मेहनत लग रही है. मेहनत के बगैर कुछ नहीं है. बट एस्पिरेशन खत्म नहीं होना चाहिए. आवर पेरेंट्स वर एस्पिरेशनल, राइट? दे बिल्ट वट एवर दे डिड बिकॉज ऑफ देयर एस्पिरेशंस. एंड I want to be able to, I want to be somebody who builds a home. So I want to do that. उसमें लगेगा टाइम, ऐसा नहीं है कि वो आज कल में हो जाएगा. उसके लिए काफ़ी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स पहले ही करनी पड़ेगी, जो मैंने इन्वेस्टमेंट्स शुरू कर ली हैं अब फाइनली 2022 में.
मैं अभी रिसेंटली यूट्यूब पे, आई डोंट रिमेंबर हु वाज इट सेइंग, बट एक काफ़ी अच्छी बात वो बता रहे थे. ही वाज सेइंग दैट 99% ऑफ द पीपल डोंट फेल इन लाइफ क्योंकि वो बहुत बड़ा सोचते हैं और उसको अचीव नहीं कर पाते. मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल फेल इन लाइफ क्योंकि वो बहुत छोटा सोचते हैं और उसको अचीव कर लेते हैं. Right, if I have small aspirations, I will get them, I will achieve that, and I'll be happy with my life. But if I have huge aspirations, then at least I will, वो मेरे काम में वो चीज़ दिखेगी, मेरा काम उसी लेवल का होगा. ठीक है. एंड नाउ देयर ज़रूरी नहीं है कि मेरी एस्पिरेशंस बड़ी है तो मुझे मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, बट मेरे चांसेस है कि मुझे मिलेगा. 2 लोग हैं, एक तो उसकी एस्पिरेशंस है ही नहीं, इसकी दूसरे की है. जिसकी एस्पिरेशंस ही नहीं है उसको तो मिलेगा ही नहीं, मिलेगा बिल्कुल नहीं. इसको मिल सकता है, नहीं मिल सकता है, तो एटलीस्ट चांसेस बहुत ज़्यादा है. So if you अगर
I think that if you don't have aspirations, you're living a very dead life. Right? Aspiration तो रखना है. I think उसी से वो zeal मिलता है to work hard to do something. And you should aspire to be the best. Ordinary से नहीं चलेगा. You'll have to be the best in whatever you do.
Very well said. So one more thing, you are very active on social media. So I wanted to know a little bit about that as well. How does it feel to, there are many people, and I'm assuming it's mostly women who are maybe connected with you, who are looking up to you, who are aspiring to be like you. So tell us.
I've actually never seen insights में ना कि which gender is following me more, but I feel that it is more women, because whenever I do these question answers and or if I post something, तो मुझे replies या whatever interaction औरतों का ज़्यादा आता है. But what was your question?
I wanted to know about that aspect of your life, because वहाँ पे दोनों चीज़ें आती है. Firstly, there are people who are looking up to you, who appreciate you, and there are also some people who may be jealous of you. There are haters, obviously. Come on,
haters gonna hate. That's going to happen.
So tell us a little bit about that.
I went public on Instagram, I think 2020 में जब लॉकडाउन हुआ था उस टाइम पे, या उससे पहले, मुझे याद नहीं है अब, या 2019 में ही शायद. So I was only handling Books and Bricks का जो Instagram है वो चला रही थी मैं. नहीं, आई थिंक मैं उससे पहले ही पब्लिक हो गई थी. 2020 आई वेंट ऑन ट्विटर. ठीक है. सो मैंने क्या किया दैट आई वेंट पब्लिक ऑन इंस्टाग्राम, एंड इट वाज अ वेरी ये चलो यार ठीक है पब्लिक कर लेते हैं टाइप्स. इट वाज नॉट वेरी थॉट ऑन एंड strategic or anything like any of my other things. Nothing is strategic. So that was also not strategic. It was like कि चलो ठीक है चले जाते हैं public, क्या होगा. And the only thing that I've always been mindful of is to show not just a rosy picture but an honest picture. तो मैं कुछ भी कर रही होंगी, मैं चाहे रोड पे भी बैठी होंगी और समथिंग, कुछ भी होगा, I will post it with all honesty. If I'm upset, if I'm unwell, मैं वो भी डालूंगी कि भाई मुझे नज़र लग गई, मैं बीमार हो गई, मुझे नज़र मत लगाओ. So I'll do that also. And I'm very candid, very honest and very candid on my Instagram. In fact, some of the times a lot of people, including Vijdan, will tell me कि भाई ये मत डाल, like इतनी honesty भी मत डाल. But that's just how I am, right? That's just who I am. So I get a lot of positive response. I get a lot of love. Matlab, you have no idea, and I don't know how I got that lucky. And there are people who actually see you and notice you and they observe you. And there are so many people who look up to me because I'm just out there, right? मैं उतना कोई एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी कुछ नहीं कर रही हूँ. आई एम जस्ट रनिंग अ कैफे. इट इज़ अ वेरी, मतलब so many people do it, but I'm a woman who runs the show, and I am a woman who is not afraid of the space that she's created, and I am somebody who will not let anybody take my spot, right? तो दैट इज़ वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट. तो मैं अगर कैफ़े में हूँ, मैं कोई और मुझे वहाँ पे ओवर शैडो नहीं कर सकता है, राइट? और अगर मैं कैफ़े में हूँ, चाहे मैं वहाँ पे सब कुछ करूँगी, ठीक है? विच इज़ वाई देर इज़ यू नो लाइक द स्टाफ ऑल्सो लुक्स अप टू यू, बिकॉज मैं टॉयलेट भी धो रही होती हूँ वहाँ पे, मैं बर्तन भी धोती हूँ वहाँ पे, मैं प्लेट्स भी उठाऊंगी लोगों के. इनफैक्ट कस्टमर्स काफ़ी बारी शॉक हो जाते हैं कि ये क्यों हमारे, ये बंदी इतनी तैयार व्यार होके आई है, मेकअप वेकअप करके आई है, ये क्यों यहाँ पे प्लेट अचानक से उठा. अगर या मैं किसी के टेबल पे जाऊंगी ना टू टेक एन ऑर्डर, दिल बी लाइक, जी व्हाट आर यू डूइंग हियर, लाइक व्हाट डू यू वांट. So I'll be like, no, you can give your order to me. So I am somebody who does not shy away from any of this. मेरे को कोई इसमें वो नहीं लगता कि मेरे को कोई इज्जत कम हो जाएगी or anything like that. So none of that is there. And at the same time, there are a lot of people who look at me that, oh, she's a woman and she's doing this, and you know, like she's walking around too freely or something. So, and I will do it more. I will reclaim my space. I will not let anybody make me feel like that you know, ki I can walk here with plates in my hand and I'll walk around freely. So I think people look up to that, is what I was trying to tell you. Ki people observe all of these things and they look up to that, and they will reach out to me and they will tell me that, you know, I'm a fan of your work and I'm a fan of who you are. Because I think सब लोग अपनी पर्सनालिटी को एग्जिबिट नहीं कर पाते हैं फ्रीली, एंड मोस्टली वुमेन, यू नो. I don't think a lot of people, a lot of women have the luxury to express. And here I am expressing everything. Whether I'm sad, whether I'm happy, angry, anything. I express everything. मुझे किसी पे गुस्सा आता है, मैं वो भी लिख दूंगी, ठीक है? और मैं बहुत ऑनेस्टी में लिख दूंगी. और मेरे को कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. कोई मुझे ट्रोल करेगा, मैं उसके पीछे पड़ जाऊंगी. मैं उसको भी छोड़ूंगी नहीं. हाँ. सो जनरली मेरी किसी फोटो पे कोई बॉडी शेमिंग करेगा, कोई या कोई कुछ और लिख देगा वगैरह, आई डोंट लेट दैट पर्सन गो एट ऑल.
You do know like there are losers.
There are, but the thing is that why I go public about it, because I know that I am the kind of person who will not shy away from, you know, calling a stone, and I know that I have to do that because it is a responsibility. I don't know why I feel that it is a responsibility that I have, because somebody else is going to get trolled and they're not going to be able to call them out. Right? And I don't want any loser, like you said, to have that sense of entitlement कि वो किसी को भी कुछ बोल सकते हैं, and they can get away with that. With me, you're not going to get away with anything. And I feel that even if उन 100 में से 1% को लगे कि मैं इसके बाद ये नहीं कर सकता, I think that's a win. Which is why I go public with whoever is trolling me.
People may think that this is a little mean, but I really believe that कि जब ऊपर आसमान से परिंदे उड़ रहे होते हैं ना, then there are people who know that maybe they have the ability to fly that way, but they know that we can't fly that way. तो वो करते क्या है, वो पत्थर उठा के मारते हैं उनको.
काफ़ी लोग मुझे ये बोलते हैं कि जब मैं कभी किसी कोई अगर ट्रोल कर रहा होगा तो मैं उसका अगर स्क्रीनशॉट लगा दूंगी वगैरह, तो मुझे काफ़ी लोग उसमें आई सी कि मुझे मैसेजेस आए होते कि दे आर जस्ट जेलस ऑफ यू और समथिंग लाइक दैट. इट कुड बी, आई डोंट नो, मे बी पीपल are jealous of you know, the life I have, and it is a very privileged life. I'm not going to deny that it is, and but that does not give anybody the right to bring me down, right? So yeah, I mean, troll नहीं कर सकते हो मुझे.
Right, and I completely trust you when you say that there's a lot of love that is coming your way on social media. I completely trust that because, you know, looking at as you said, that it's your own vibe that has transcended to the business that you have created, to your staff, to your customers. And right now, as we are shooting in this room, there's a different sort of aura in this room right now. So it does not come to me as a surprise that if you would be, being appreciated on social media as well.
Yeah, I think because like I told you that I'm honest with whatever I'm posting also. तो उसमें क्या हो जाता है that obviously my vibe is there on social media also. So everybody keeps telling me कि you're this jolly, peppy person, which in real life also I am. So I think, yeah, people like that.
Totally. So on the ending note, do you want to say something to the young women watching this? Because this actually, my audience here, like I had in mind who I'm creating this for. It is just the young women of Kashmir who do not, unfortunately, who do not have the luxury to express themselves, who do not have the luxury to go out and like go to any place where they want to. That's very unfortunate. Like even recently there was a wedding ceremony which I had to attend recently. There were 3 girls walking and they were speaking like they were normally speaking like you and I would speak if we were on a street. Their uncle, I don't know if it was their uncle or father or someone, he just passed them and he shouted at them like, why are you speaking so loudly? I was like, fuck, did he actually shout at them and saying that why are you like speaking too loudly? I'm like, they were not speaking loudly. So that is the kind of that is the state in which most of our young generation is in, especially the women. So what do you have to say to them?
Do you think I have not been told that I talk loudly or laugh loudly or don't sit with my legs crossed or I'm not feminine enough or I am not ladylike and मैं कल को ससुराल में क्या करूँगी and things like that? Do you think I've not dealt with that? I have also. My family has also thrown all of that at me. But no, I'm going to talk loudly. If I know what I want to do, I will. See, वो कैसे हुआ कि मैं आज कर पाती हूँ जो भी मैं कर पाती हूँ? Financial independence, like that is the core of everything. So if I had to give a message to anybody watching this and listening to our podcast, and if a 30-year-old woman had to give an advice, it would only be to be aspirational and aspire for financial independence. And I think that is everything. अगर मुझे कभी कोई मेरे घर में भी बोलता ना कि भाई जोर से हंसती हो या कुछ whatever, बोलते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि मुझे नहीं कभी बोला, अब नहीं बोलते हैं. जब बोलते थे तो मैं वापस सुना देती थी that you cannot talk to me like that, और ऐसे ही हंसूंगी मैं, यही है मेरी pitch, deal with it, right? And ऐसा भी होता है that once you start working, once you start earning, once you become independent and self-reliant, people look up to you in your family also. You get more respect in your own house also. So that is a game changer. That's very important. Why I always saw women in my family making decisions and like being the head of the families, because they were all working women earning their own money, saving, investing, building their empires, right? So that is very important. So no man, nobody can tell you whether you can talk loudly or laugh loudly or whatever. Then you make your own rules. Exactly. And you have to become that person. The thing is that you have to be a little rebellious to create your space. That has to be there, because of the kind of society that we live in, we will have to fight for our spot. We will have to fight for our space. And I think women should, I think, reclaim their spaces and fight for that. And I know it's not easy. It's not been easy for me also. And it's not easy. It breaks you down. You want to sit and cry and you feel that ये कैसी किस्मत है मेरी, that like I'm not allowed to do this, I'm not allowed to do that, I'm not allowed to go out right now, but you have to fight for it. And मैं एक छोटा एग्जाम्पल दे सकती हूँ that when I started working at the cafe में late hours हो जाते हैं, right? And ये late hours societally ठीक नहीं है for women. And initially even my mom would be like कि ये क्या time है घर आने का and everything, and I would be like, listen, I am not doing a 9 to 5. I'm working at a cafe now, right? This place only starts sparking after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
Right.
तो मैं तो सुबह जाके यहाँ पे बैठ नहीं सकती हूँ. So they would also tell me, in fact, my grandparents would also tell me that you should tell Danish कि शाम वाले टाइम वो बैठे, सुबह वाले टाइम तुम बैठो. मैंने कहा शिफ्ट नहीं है, हम गार्ड नहीं है कैफे के, you know.
Right.
I go there to talk to people also, right? I am having conversations with the people who are coming in. Right. So that is also important for me. I am creating that vibe. I have to be there, and it's going to take time, you know. 9:30-10 तो मुझे ऐसे ही बज जाते हैं. But ये बात मेरी mother समझी eventually. After she started seeing the success of the cafe, when, you know, like people started coming up to her and saying कि oh the cafe, oh Books and Bricks cafe ये अनम का है, अच्छा हाँ हम भी वहाँ पे गए थे, हमने पास्ता खाया, ये खाया, कॉफ़ी बहुत अच्छी है. So she started realizing that this is a brand and Anam is working hard for this brand. And my grandparents, it was more difficult to explain this to, and also then my mom would cover up for me. She would tell my grandparents, हाँ अनम आ गई है घर. मेरे नाना नानी they live close to our home, so she would tell them that हाँ अनम आ गई है घर, और मैं अभी कैफे में ही होती थी. So मुझे वो लीवे मिलता था थोड़ा, 9:30-10 बजे के बाद ही मैं आती थी. And also because I've been very honest with my mother about my friends, male friends, कुछ भी हो, अच्छा मम्मा मैं दानिश के साथ हूँ, he's going to, अगर late हो जाए, he will drop me or something, you know, like she would be scared for my safety and all of that, but I would put faith in her also, right? I would tell her exactly where I am, what I'm doing, who's going to accompany me in case it's very late and streets are, you know, बिल्कुल खाली होती हैं. So I think that helped change a lot of things for me.
But at the end, it is all worth it. Like as you said, there
Absolutely.
is crying, there is maybe being rebellious, there is sleepless nights.
But all of it for what? For my freedom, right?
Exactly.
And freedom की फिर लत लग जाती है. It all comes down to that.
It all comes down to that.
Yeah.
So again, so people may say all they want कि हाँ पैसे से सब कुछ नहीं होता ये वो, but if you do not have financial freedom, believe me, you don't know what life is.
Yeah.
You don't know, you know, how beautiful your life can become.
Financial freedom is
so
very
that is
important.
the only thing that you should aspire for, especially if you are a woman. So I personally believe that financial freedom सबके लिए ज़रूरी है, but especially उन लोगों के लिए, for the lack of better word, जो marginalized है. And unfortunately in our society that is women. So it is just financial freedom that will turn all the tables for you.
Absolutely. Could not agree more. And this is what I tell everybody that I can, दोस्त हो कोई भी हो, अपना कमाओ, अपना खाओ, और अब मैं ये भी बोलूँगी कि अपना इन्वेस्ट करो. You have to make money with your money, and I learned it very late in life. I wish हमारी स्कूल की टेक्स्ट बुक्स में इन्वेस्टमेंट कैसे करना है और पैसे को मल्टीप्लाई कैसे करना है ये सिखाया होता, और वो ट्रिग्नोमेट्री ना सिखाई होती, बिकॉज उसका मुझे कोई काम नहीं रहा. और अब मैं 30 हूँ, बट आई नो देयर आर पीपल हु आर मच यंगर देन मी हु इन्वेस्ट, एंड आई विश आई न्यू इट अर्लियर, एंड आई एक्चुअली न्यू इट. ऐसा नहीं आई डिड नॉट नो इट. My brother would tell me so much. I saw my mother, you know, like investing money, but I don't know why I was lazy and I wanted to spend all of my money. Us time pe I did not invest. So I think I am at least 10 years late. I should have started investing when I was 20. I'm at 10 years late, but I have started it. So whoever is watching this, at least start an SIP or a mutual fund or something.
Firstly, start earning, and then learn how to multiply that. So that is even the new concept in Kashmir, that अच्छा पैसे से पैसा कमाना.
पैसे से
they
पैसा
feel like
कमाना.
शायद, you know, it's like gambling or something, but it is not. It is a science.
Yeah. ठीक है.
On that note, Anam, thank you so much for giving us your valuable time.
Thank you so much.
It was a
for
pleasure
having
speaking
me.
with you, and
Same here.
I couldn't, you know, emphasize it how much fun I had speaking with you.
Likewise, I had so much fun talking about my life with you, and time का पता नहीं लगा. कितना time हो गया होगा?
I don't know. 8:30.
ओह, हमें घंटा हो गया फिर. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anam.
Thank you so much.
Really
for
appreciate
having me.
it.